And the bed knife grinder was designed specifically to help it work in a fairly dusty, dirty environment. You find that grinding bed knives, running coolant, you have a lot of metal and filings that are right in the working components of the machine. And to allow that machine to work accurately and for a longer period of time, what we've done is we've set it up in a way where the two rails that are carrying the carriage that holds the stone are set up fairly wide apart. We've offered the stone between the two rails. So now what you'll find is that if there's any deflection or any debris or anything that builds up on these rails, by having the stone between the two rails, it's not affecting the movement of the stone as much. Our previous model machine, we found that the two rails were much closer together. The stone was cantilevered out over the end, so if there was any movement in the rails, any dirt or debris build up on the rails, the play was much more significant out on the end of the stone. It was a little less susceptible to the dirt and debris through grinding. So by having the rails wide, having the stone between the two rails, you find it maintains a nice accurate tolerance throughout the life of the machine. Be it old machine, be it a new machine, it's a lot more tolerant again to the dust and the dirt. The traverse system is one where we are using a chain that doesn't move. We have a motor underneath with the sprocket, and by pulling the chain into the sprocket, you find, again, less moving parts, less things that can cause problems and go wrong. We're offering the bed knife in a position here, in a sort of in a horizontal position, so the stone is attacking and grinding the bed knife from the front rather than grinding from the top. If we have the stone attacking and grinding from the top, as the rails are coming sideways and the carriage is moving back and forth sideways, you find if there is any dirt on the rails, deflection in the rails, the stone is then moving up and down, affecting that smooth, straight surface we're trying to create. When the stone's offered into this position now, if there is any movement, it's just literally sliding up and down on that surface and not moving in and out as much anymore. So you're finding that you're, again, able to achieve a nice, smooth, straight knife quite easily. Obviously, the diamond dresser is an important tool, being able to dress the stone while you're grinding. As that is moving back and forth, you can operate and dress the stone up. So as you hear the pitch change, as you hear and see that the spark isn't as bright and you're not grinding as quickly and as accurately as you should be, you can change and dress that stone while you're grinding. Our dust collection system is one where we're going to use a coolant to help cool and also help to control the dust. We have a tray here that's going to collect a lot of the material that's easy to clean out. And down below we have our coolant tank and sump that's going to collect, recycle, and reuse the coolant. The guarding system pulls down and completely encloses the grinding process. So coolant spray is enclosed. Actually, a lot of the sound is enclosed as well, and any of the dust is helped and contained within that. There's a safety interlock switch on that guard, so it can't be operated in the up position. With the machine, you have a series of tools, obviously an instruction manual. We have a set of leveling feet. This machine is on our transport wheels for demonstration and to move the machine around, but there are leveling feet that do come with it. We have a series of different brackets and adapters that we can offer up to replace the ones that we're using here. We have a pin here holding this knife on. There's a pin that's just a little different shape. If you have a heavier, more robust bed knife, that might do a better job of holding it. If you have a bed knife that doesn't have holes on the end for the bolts, but maybe have studs sticking out the end, that piece will replace the pin that's in there now. So you can offer the studs into the end and lock the bed knife in place that way. Obviously your wrench to change your stone, which we've shown you. A more traditional mounting bracket comes with it as well. You might find there'll be some knives that you'll be grinding that might not be able to be offered up into the system here where we're using the pins. A more traditional way, you might use a more traditional bracket and mounting setup where you'll bolt that bed knife in. There aren't many of those that we'll see in the marketplace anymore, but some of the older mowers that you might run into might have to be sharpened that way.